Hey, what's up guys? This is Jeff. So today we're going to talk about what I saw on the front page of the Maui Time. Look at that cartoon right there. We're talking about Rat Lungworm Disease. Kind of a weird name, right? Rat Lungworm Disease. So I opened it up. So I've heard about this, and there's a little bit of misconception about this. And I think there's a little bit of fear mongering also, but I'm also not going to say that take it lightly, right? I mean, we know history. We knew about the bubonic plague, measles, mumps, and there's been swine flu scares and stuff like that. So this is a real disease that does exist. How prevalent and how much of a threat it really is, that I'm saying at this particular moment is not at a very high level. Could it get there? Yes. I'm going to stress this with you guys. Could it get to a point where you should really be concerned? Yes. As of right now, I mean, if you just read the article, which we can kind of do, I can go over the synopsis of what the article's about, but basically it says, "The Truth About Rat Lungworm Disease on Maui" by Alex Mitchell. Maybe you guys can look it up and read it yourselves. So here's what it says about how to protect yourself over here on the Cliff Notes. Always wear shoes and gloves in the garden and outside areas of your home. Wash your hands. So, especially if you're in tropical areas. So what rat lungworm disease is it's a parasite, okay? And it gets inside your body through snails and other larvae, and ends up in like rats. So there's like a process. The adult worm is in the lung vessel and starts to lay worms. The eggs pierce into the lung cavity of the rat, travel into bigger airway, and when the rat coughs or swallows its mucus, it goes into the digestive system of the rat and comes out in their feces. The rat feces are eaten by slugs and snails. The form of the worm goes through two more stages in the semi-slug or snail, transitioning into the parasite that infects humans and mammals. So it's a parasite that basically, when slugs go over your fruit, or any sort of produce, it gets in you don't want to eat the parasite, because that's what the disease is. Watch out for your children and animals in outside areas. If you find semi-slugs around your property, so that's what they're called semi-slugs, SEMI slugs. If you find them, never use your hands to pick them up. Use labeled tongs and put them in a bucket of 3 parts water and 1 part Hawaiian salt for more than 72 hours to kill the parasite. So they're saying, don't kill the slug, but kill the parasite that might be on the slug. Do not break the heads off of greens and lettuces. Take each leaf off individually so you do not cut into a kiki, adult semi-slug. So basically, you don't want to break your lettuce or something and then break a slug and then really release the parasite. Thoroughly wash all your produce, vegetables, and fruit with running water. Take your time, wearing seeing eyeglasses if you need them. Running water is the key here. No soaking. You are just washing to clean off traces of slug trails. You are also looking for baby slugs, sometimes as small as a grain of rice or 2 millimeters in length. So what they're saying is, wash it, don't soak it. Don't put it into like if you're making a salad, don't put it into a container and just let it soak, because you need to wash off the slugs or the slug parasite. Do not use water to wash produce. There is no specific proof that vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, salt water, grapefruit seed extract, or ice baths kill the parasite. Okay. So the parasite dies if it's frozen for more than 48 hours. So what they're saying here is if you're too lazy to do the rest of this stuff, at least freeze it for 48 hours because it kills the parasite. So, I mean, I'm not saying they said if you're too lazy to do that, but they said if you want to take an extra precaution or whatever. Like I said, I'm not an expert here. I'm just reading to you from the Maui Time. If any of you guys are thinking that I'm calling myself an expert on rat lung, you're wrong. All I am is a medium between the story and this. So do your own research if you're concerned about it. But I know some of you have asked me about this. When cooking, the parasite dies at 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Boiling point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you're gonna cook it, if you're gonna cook the greens in a soup or something, that's the temperature, 212 or 165 degrees, boiling point 212. Keep all food covered indoors and outdoors. That's if you're growing in your backyard. Like some of you will come here and will want to grow stuff. You're gonna want to be on the lookout for these parasites, but you don't touch them with your hands. Okay, that's what they're saying is, don't like go in there and start picking them out like weeds or like like ticks or flies on your dog. You just don't touch these things. And you definitely don't want them to touch your food if you're going to consume it. Be cautious when eating raw and uncooked produce from potlucks and restaurants. Do not eat in places where the food preparer is not aware of these proper handling. Food to avoid infection. So when you're going out to dinner, you should ask, if they're aware of proper food handling for this kind of produce. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, I don't really know of anyone who's gotten this or, all that stuff. But this is more of a early warning awareness, early awareness in case an outbreak should happen. So this is like kind of like, so you're not like, oh, what should I do to protect myself? This is what that is. And the reason it's kind of come under the radar recently, because I know that when I talked about it in the past, I said, well, I've never known anyone who's had rat lung disease. So there was a statistic in here where they said they'd only had one case or something like this, one case, and now they've had 10 in the last year. So they had one case over 10 years, and then they had 10 cases in 1 year. So that's why the heightened efforts, and it was mostly here on Maui, but also over on the island of Hawaii. So, also knowing what the symptoms are. Yet again, this is not to scare you, okay? This is just an early awareness. Odds are that if you follow these proper steps, it's kind of like you're gonna have to just basically take these steps to avoid it altogether. Kind of like when you eat raw red meat, you can get E. coli or chicken salmonella. So, with your veggies, prepare them right, clean them. This is just one more reason to clean them, on top of, the fact that they might spray. Even here on Maui, I think they did try to do no spray Maui, but I think they spray here. And even if you're getting the food from the mainland, it's good practice to wash your food or to wash your veggies. So maybe this is going to end up being a good thing nonetheless. It's just saying take proper food hygiene. But yeah, they did have a couple of cases. I guess all you people who like to go in your backyard and just, voila, there's my cucumber. Might have to think about that. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, at least the knowledge or information, I should say, because the knowledge came from here, and I was the medium who provided you the information. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel because I do other videos like this. I will be a world traveler, so I'm just here in Maui doing Maui news and in Hawaii in general, but there will be more moving forward in other places, and it's just kind of a different way to do information.